Hey,
All
so
right.
here we are, TCA Live, talking with Coach Z Monster here on a great day. This was the day we said we would release the Operation Ragnarok Tier 1 con op. But before we get to that, here we are, dude. Coach, a little bit of background about yourself and how you're involved in Third Coast.
Well, hey, how's it going? Of course, I'm also one of the owners, as well as the main guy who comes up with all these crazy tier ones that we do. Um, I do it completely from just either past experience or experiences I've read from other people, or just flat out just stuff that's going on in history that we do our best to re-simulate for you guys and to give you that gut wrench feeling of how realistic I can try to get things for y'all. I enjoy doing it. I'm retired now, 20 years infantry in the Army. So I just try to give you as much as my experience and throw it on to you guys so we all get some good life experiences as well as some good training.
So, what is a tier 1 is the one thing we always get. Hey, I'm new to Third Coast. Everybody said I got to do a tier 1. So here I am. I'm at Operation Serious Viking. I bought this thing called a tier 1 ticket. What did I get myself into is the most commonly asked question. How would you answer that?
And that is a great question. Well, to be honest with you guys, a tier 1 is a straight out of the FM, basically a military stick lane, which is just a good actions on contact kind of lane that just puts you to your limit, that gets you 100% there, gets your mind thinking, gets everything rolling for you so you can get your guys together and conduct a mission for training.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people, and then you can go to the website, to our news tab. There's a whole article that you wrote about what is a tier 1. I point people to that, but I think a lot of people like seeing the video. I don't see a lot of videos or pictures from tier 1s. That's because they're at night.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to get a lot of good media. Now, we have players have given us a lot of good content. Let me see. I think I've got one that we can definitely show right now, just for this one. We'll put it up here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that was an excellent brief too. That was an excellent brief.
I got stairs.
That's a perfect example of good violence of action.
Yeah. So these are things you cannot do in the main game yet. We'll get there at some point. We always talked about working tier 1s into the main event. But I think tier 1s will give the player a chance to do some hands-on. You've always got some kind of demo. You've always got some kind of there's always something hands-on, whether it's breaching, medical play, role players, calling their fire. There's always something you've worked into a tier 1 that you just couldn't do yet in the main event. We always talk about those days are coming, but tier 1s, I think, really give a smaller audience a chance to get their hands wet.
Yeah, see, and I like to give people that ability to do something. As we all know, in the in the military, in all branches, you always simulate a lot of things. Like, oh, you're going to simulate that you destroyed this objective, or oh, you're going to simulate that you called for fire. I got tired of that as a private. So as soon as I got the NCO rank, I was like, you know what? If there's a way I can make something to where, hey, you fought hard for this, you're going to blow that up. So I try to give our customer base and our players that ability to, if I say you're going to destroy that weapons cache, I'm going to give you some pyro. I'm going to give you a clacker, and you're going to feel that thing go off and know that you fought hard for that.
Right. And there's always surprises, man. We push it as safe as we can to give them a great effect.
Yeah.
So what am I getting myself?
The safety briefs are the best because those are straight to it, man. Use the whole 15-foot rope.
So what to bring? Okay, you got a player that's new to tier 1. He's like, what does my loadout look like? What can I wear? That's a good question. I'll kick it off with the easy one. Wear the appropriate eye protection.
That is a huge thing because you are engaging in, of course, at night, low light visibility areas. Definitely you want to bring, of course, the ultimate thing that you'd want to bring is, of course, yes, a set of NVGs, but guess what, people? We've been winning wars without NVGs at night since American Revolution. You know what I mean? Like we own the night. That is a huge that's a no crap slogan right there. But yes, NVGs are nice. You can bring those. It's cool. But if you don't got them, it's cool. You'll be okay. You will survive. We'll go over little small things. Yes, there's some places that are going to be lit. There's some places that are not. It's mostly on how you're going to use your terrain. You know, are you going to walk down the street that's illuminated, or are you going to skirt the alleyway that's dark and shadowy? That gets your mind working. That's what a tier 1 does. Loadout. Definitely, I'm not going to lie to you. Unless the mission calls for it, I wouldn't bring a sniper rifle.
Yeah, we've seen guys come in with a sniper rifle, and you're like, that's not gonna,
yeah.
You know.
And then then you got to tell them you do know you can't be number 1 man in that stack with a sniper rifle, guy. So you know what I mean. So that's definitely something. Unless it is Met TC, something more that that's going to be for the mission. Don't come into it just with pistols. You know what I mean? Because we all know, even in the real world, pistols 9mm low caliber, they ain't going to hit that distance. Right. Even in Airsoft, same thing. Okay, even I know some of you hot shots got some awesome pistols. Don't get me wrong, but that's just not something you would want to bring to a tier 1.
Yeah.
Yes, you can bring LMGs. LMGs are definitely always a must. That support by fire does work, but yes, we don't bend the rules for tier 1s, but you still got to do your MED. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what else. What else is great stuff? You might want to bring an attack light. If you got a little light on your weapon, that works out. Okay. If you want to put a different lens on it, so that way it's not so blinding. Heck yeah. But now would be the time to start going over light discipline. Yeah. Every time you turn on that light, it's like firing your weapon at night.
So we touched on some stray ions here. Okay, so when guys leave the tier 1, we've always made it a point in the tier 1 design to what can you take into the main game. Big ones: challenge of passwords, identify friend or foe methods. With the blue filter on the light, the green filter on the light. Mute your lights. That way, there's light discipline. How to use nods, when to use nods, because we got guys running dual tubes and they're like, this is great, and then they wish everybody would stop hitting their flashlights on the objective. Hey guy, stealth mode's over. Go white light. So
everybody wants to be a ninja and be sneaky, but as soon as that first bullet goes past, or first BB, first anything goes off, your element of surprise is gone. So you might as well be loud and very vigorous and just push it out. You might as well.
And I think the video when we played, and I'll probably play it one more time here in a little bit, that was probably the best breach that I've seen in since we've started doing tier 1s since 16.
Absolutely. I mean, as you can tell, if you do replay, there was a giant lip there, so they couldn't stack on it really. Honestly, there was, and I believe they were also receiving fire, so they couldn't 100% stack on it. But just their violence of action. See that lip right there? So they had to jump up into it. It was tough. That was actually a wired command dead for the door breaching charge.
Yeah. Here, we'll just let it roll here without the sound, so we players can kind of look at it. I mean, the guys.
Just to let you know, that is a door breaching charge that you all set off. It is not an admin set off. When I give you the devices, the pyro to blow up, I will give you the actual piece of debt, the pyro itself that is handmade by myself, onto a clacker. You put out the 15 wire, you put it on the door, and as you can tell, the guy said boom, 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 or you could say fucking bang, bang, bang. Sorry, I cussed. And then, of course, from there, you make entry. And you're right. That was probably by far the best breach I've seen so far. That balance of action, that number 1 man right there, just besides going into a room that, oh crap, look at that right here, watch. There is a staircase. That was a hard thing, but it didn't stop them. They didn't do fatal funnel. They pushed through. So kudos to that team. Heck yeah, man. That by far is our best breach.
So, all right. So what are you getting yourself into? You're getting yourself into a truly immersive, as real as we can make it. there's some artificial stressors that you've created as part of Tier 1, which we'll dive into just real quick. It's always done at night because nighttime is probably a factor that, man, stress.
I mean, it's the
Stranger,
one thing. It's literally the one thing that you don't ever get enough training at. You have, let's just say, I'm not a mathematical genius, but you usually have about 18 hours of daylight to fight in. You usually don't have that much time to fight at night. So this is great training regardless.
yeah. So nighttime adds stress. The stranger effect, as we like to call it, where you're not in a unit that has trained together for 18 months before they go dynamic. You're in a room full of strangers. Yeah, you might know one or two guys. You might have come up with a couple of friends. A whole squad, a community has come together to do a Tier 1. But then you're in a room with 26 other people in a platoon, given a mission set with a very limited time. So now you've got the dark factor, the stranger factor, the time constraints, and then the fourth one, no matter how good you train at home, because you've never trained all together, the training, the lack of training factor. And I know that's kind of like, I'm a high-speed operator. Yeah, I know, but you haven't worked with 26 other people. So, you've got the darkness, you've got the freaking stranger factor, limited time, and then the training level is not all the same. So those four, and then the fifth one is the OPFOR. What is the OPFOR?
Okay, well, in a nutshell, the OPFOR guys, they're hand selected by myself, and they've actually gone through training through me. I've given them as much points as I can. OPFOR is there as your opposing force. They're there to stay on, I don't want to say a script, but they're on there. They know they're very mission focused on what they're doing. I kind of give them free reign, so they get to do what they can to add for the effect of the mission. But in the end, they always know what the end outcome is, and they always put the mission first. OPFOR is very distinct from what the actual players of the Tier 1 are. They are only allowed to wear one uniform, which is all black only. Or if it's a different kind of a mission set where, let's just say, for instance, they'll wear all flannel because it's an opposing force of another force. But that's something that's within a brief.
Right.
Whenever you get your OPFOR brief, you get all that information. It's never just a, hey, boom. The main thing I want to say what OPFOR are, they're the biggest training aid that a player can use. You're going up against someone that I don't want to say is more trained than you or more outfitted than you, but they are there to give you that experience of that real life factor, to where they're gonna fight you from an actual door. They're gonna fight you from in a room. They're gonna take it as their Alamo, as we say, and they're gonna fight and die there.
So they know the terrain. Okay. They've rehearsed the actions that they have to do. Okay. So you've got the terrain, the enemy vote, as we like to call it. So the enemy has the terrain plus.
Yeah, got that home field advantage.
Yeah, the home field advantage. I couldn't think of the phrase. It's a smaller team. Guys, usually work together. Some of your OPFOR have been OPFOR for 10 years, close to being 10 years. Reaper, Austin, just to name two guys that they've done it for a long time. And then they understand what the other side's attempting to do. I know they were talking about, it's not fair. One guy who's done Tier 1s for about 5 years now has always said, Sal, it's not fair because the OPFOR knows we're coming. Well, yeah, dude. In real life, they would know you're coming as well.
Granted, they just don't know the route you're taking.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
And you've built that into this scenario. So when we go into Ragnarok, you can talk about how they have how the Blue 4, JTF, have a little bit more leeway.
Well, just to iterate right there what you said. Yes, the OPFOR, they know the mission, because obviously they have to either defend or they got to attack or they got to conduct their own mission themselves. But the greatest beauty thing is they don't know the routes that the players are taking. That is more on the player. Yes, there is a left and a right limit that I got to make these guys stay in. But the fact that how big I've made that left and right limit lets the player actually yet immersive, and choose their own path. Like I said earlier, are you going to take that one street that's fully illuminated, or are you going to take that alleyway that's dark? That's solely on you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Op4 doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the Op4 does have some disadvantages. They're outnumbered. They're always outnumbered.
Always outnumbered. But I guess the counterweight to that is they've been working with each other.
Right.
So they know how. But you're right. They are outnumbered. I believe now we do the 5-to-1 ratio. That's the only way we fight is
Right.
5-to-1 odds. But not that I try to make it like that, but we should always outnumber the enemy. Always.
Now, part of the Op4 doctrine is to create moments of terror where they have 5-to-1. So I know one guy's probably going to be commenting here going, that's bull. There was 40 Op4 one time, coach. Yeah, it definitely, at that moment on the field, you probably the player felt very alone as 10 Op4 were trying to, come at you. But that's the Op4 training that we've turned around and said, hey, you have to create opportunities where you can create a 5-to-1 on a particular point on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And then I know one tier 1, Blue 4 wasn't a defense. There was 40 Op4 attacking.
That was amazing.
That was probably one of the fun ones, just by watching the Blue 4 kind of go, holy crap. So what it's not force on force. It's not gold platoon versus green platoon.
It's the JTF.
Yeah, we tried that once, didn't work out very well. Yeah. So the Op4 have vehicles. Depends on the tier 1.
Yes.
Does Blue 4 have vehicles? Depends on the tier 1. Okay, so for the guys who've done tier 1s before, they're like, all right, guys, you've given the new guys plenty of information. You've given us the history. Give us the meat, the reason why people dialed into this. Okay, all right, let's put Ragnarok, the con op on the screen. So let me grab that and we'll put it up here and we can discuss it.
All right, this is groundbreaking. It's the first time we've done a con op out.
Yes. All right, so Operation Ragnarok. The mission statement is there. We won't bore people by going over the mission statement. The scenario: you have an intel annex over here, and you have the U.S. Embassy in Guardia City was hit by vehicle-borne IEDs. The survivors were quickly kidnapped by local militias and taken to 9 objectives. For green platoon, it's going to be bear, fox, cat, and dog. And gold platoon, you've got goat, coin, token, dollar, and peso. So spread out through the width of Guardia City. Timeline, 1830, we'll be doing the op order brief down here in buildings 1 and 2, just south of the FEMA buildings. So once you get checked in, safety briefed, and chronoed, get down to Cop Strong by 1800, so that way we can do head count and do the op order briefing. Key tasks, Coach. You've got the key tasks there, man. What do you review them for us? Because that's what the one thing people always ask about.
All right, the key task that you're going to want to do immediately on the situation is you want to identify, of course, who is going to be the squad leader, who are going to be the fire team leaders. Okay. From there, you're also going to want to identify who's going to be your breaching. Okay. Who's going to be your aid and litter. You're going to want to identify all that immediately. Okay. Now, those guys that are appointed or self-appointed leaders, okay, you're going to have to take all guidance from them, because if not, you can't have 20 chiefs and no Indians. So the main thing you're going to go over 100% is going over like key things. Like right now, what you see, I'm going to stay on fox and bear. Okay, those 2 objectives might be a little bit too close. With you got a leaner danger area around Astros in the middle. You might want to start going over support by fire, squad bounding, fire team bounding. Those are key things you're going to want to use on this objective. This mission is not failable, okay, and it's not made for you to fail, but it's made to make your brain think. Because from what I'm looking at right now, and in my personal experience, once you hit bear and goat, everything, all the other planning you did beyond that is going to go right out the window. So you got to stay mission focused. You got to do rehearsals. You got to do all kinds of things. So key tasks, like I said, identify leadership. Okay. And then after that, you got to start going over, of course, your planning phase. Then you got to start going into rehearsals. Okay. And then from there, do your last bit of, PCs, PCIs to make sure everybody's got what they need. Because once you leave, Cop Strong, that is it.
So big picture key tasks, conduct tactical movement to your assault and breach positions. Those breach positions, good human intelligence has told us we're all where the exploding stars are. That's where the best possible blind spots are on those buildings.
I believe, yes, those are the most possible, best way with most cover, most concealment would be to breach on those. Now, you might get boots on ground. You might hit Fox, and next thing you know, oh, this is not a good breaching point. Don't take whatever you see right now on this map 100% because, as you could tell, this is intel now.
Yeah,
you don't know what intel is going to be in 7 days.
And of course, hey, Sal, Coach, can we walk the town prior to the? No, you can't, guys. Sorry. As much as I wanted to walk Baghdad before I got there, that's not how it works.
Yeah, the only reconnaissance you can have is what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, Google Earth works great. You can zoom in, zoom out, do all that, but yeah, you can't walk the X, man. We're doing explosive breaching for the most part. Utilize violence of action to swiftly eliminate militia and secure hostages. Use internal and external assets to quickly terminate threats. So we're going to have armed UAV overhead, maybe some AC-130, maybe some mortars to call for. Safeguard hostages and get them evacuated out of the combat zone. So, guys, there it is. I mean, 9 objectives. You can have 2 platoons, gold and green. Now, Coach, it's a sandbox. People are noticing, well, green has a very large maneuver lane. Gold has a very large maneuver lane. Do we have to knock them out sequentially? How do we do this? Tell us how to do this.
Like, I'm not going to tell you that this is the way to do it, but this is a coach's way of doing it. Like I said, this is really is standard. Actually, this is more of what a company attack.
Yeah, this is a company attack. Yeah,
but it's still doable. I mean, the main thing you're going to want to do, honestly, you're growing with 3 squads, guys. Use 1 squad as a support by fire, where 1 squad is just laying down rounds, keeping the enemy, enemy's heads down, can't even return fire. While you got another,
So that means suppressing windows.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Well, we don't know. We don't know. Some of these buildings might not have windows. Some might just have a doorway. We don't know. But the support by fire is not allowing the enemy to fire back at you,
right?
Which will allow a second squad to maneuver in safely, stack up, breach the door, enter the objective. I personally, to tell you the truth, guys, I would definitely be doing bounding. I would do squad bounding, fire team bounding. As 2 squads are hitting 1 objective, I would push then the next squad halfway to the next one and set and just pull security until, hey, man, green light or hey, first down. Something that lets you know, hey, we've cleared goat. Okay, let's move to coin. All right, coin's good. And just keep rolling, okay?
Yeah.
If you guys are really, really confident and y'all just want to 1 squad hit it each, that's fine. But if you do a mass CAS where you lose a whole squad, I don't think your admins are going to pick you up. I think they're going to wait for – you're going to have to wait for someone else to come and grab y'all. There is learning aspects in Tier 1.
We could like to call it the starburst effect, where, the whole patrol gets knocked out. And it's like, well, let's see what happens next. In theory, green platoon leader, the green leadership could come in and go, hey, Coach, we want to hit Fox and then backtrack to Bear, and then we're going to come back around and hit. Hey, guys,
that's on you.
That's on you. Which is an interesting point here. All of this gets driven by that magical question you ask at the end of every Tier 1. How can you make it better?
Yeah.
Okay. And the feedback, hey, Coach, we really want to have kind of a choose your own adventure. It's not set on rails. It's not like a Call of Duty where A plus B equals C. We don't want to feel like we're being guided through a lane. We want to be able to make our own choices as leadership. Okay. Be great to have a con op before the event. There it is.
Got it.
It'd be, one of the early ones back in the day was, it'd be great if we had a digital ready room. Hey, on Discord, we've got the tier 1 ready room, got coaches room. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
So I think what's awesome is it'll start leveling the field, leveling the bubbles on mission knowledge. We all know what we're going to go do. Okay. Is it going to solve the, hey, I'm going to be in charge of this? Maybe, could.
Might not.
Not everybody's on social media. Not everybody's on Discord. You may have a guy get there and go, okay, hey, I'll be in charge. I don't think that's going to scratch that itch. I think you're still going to do some discovery learning by finding your leaders there. I love the one dude who did all the planning and then gets to the event, and all of a sudden he realizes the city's a lot bigger than he thought, and he's just like, yeah, I know I said I was going to run this thing, guys, but yeah, somebody else step up. We've seen that happen.
It was way too big. Yeah.
We've seen that happen in tier 1s where it's like, the poor dude's like, yeah, I'm not ready to do this.
And it happens because tier 1s are supposed to get you flustered. They're supposed to get you to think outside the box. It literally, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and a lot of the veteran tier 1 guys that play, once you hit that first objective, everything's gonna go outside that window, and it's gonna go one ear out the other.
And that's
where keep that combat composure.
and that's where I think the battle drills really work. It's like I can't remember what sequence we're going to do. I can't remember if we're going to go from dog to cat to bear, but I do know that we're going to always have 2 squads doing this and 1 squad doing that. Yes, if that's all you guys can remember, the lane walker is going to get you from bear to cat to fox.
Yeah.
I mean, the lane walker's like, hey, where are you going? We're going to cat. No, dude, cat's that way. Oh shit. Okay. You guys are going back towards the parking lot. So the lane walkers are there to kind of give you some primers, give you some hey, steer this way, to kind of keep you guys from getting lost.
Just get back on mission focus. That's the whole key thing.
Now, if you're in charge and your brain is completely melted, you can turn around and ask the lane walker, hey, Red Fox, hey man, what am I supposed to do again? Ask the poor guy, man. That lane walker is there to guide you guys through the process. And if he keeps seeing you guys make the same mistake over and over again, and he keeps saying pull security, yeah, man, point somebody at your 6, because OP4 can come from anywhere. Again, going back to that player feedback you ask for at the end of every tier 1. We want more pyro. Oh, okay. We want more OP4. Oh, okay. So you take that very much to heart to make the product better for the player.
Because like I said a few minutes ago, if the guys are going to look at this con op, and right now they're looking at all those red diamonds. Okay, if you're wondering what that red diamond is with the X in it, that's an infantry symbol. That's some kind of a ground force. Now you see the other diamond that has that circle with the L. That might possibly be a mounted vehicle, light infantry, or is light armor. Okay, there's going to be all kinds of stuff going into this one. So definitely when you're getting into it, right off this con op, from what I'm looking at, obviously we got door breaching. So we're going to need a demo team. Okay. From what is also looking at, it looks like you're going to need a light armor, anti-armor team. You who knows? You got all kinds of stuff that's being shown on this map. Now, all this is definitely going to change. I'm not going to lie to you, because you're getting intel now compared to what the intel is going to be that Friday night. But at least you're getting a ballpark of what you're hitting, and now you can start planning on how you're going to move to it. If you are wondering, that is a tunnel system down there on Gold. That is a giant subway tunnel system that obviously will flank you all the way to the right and around. So that's all up on you if you want to do that route on Rangers. You could go from goat to coin and go straight to dollar, but just want to be very honest with you. There could be a lot of fratricide if green is already assaulting cat. Okay, it's going to be a very dark city. Okay, when you start seeing bodies move, your finger's already on that trigger. Okay, so you got to keep in mind, fratricide is real, and it happens in Airsoft.
A lot, and it happens in the real deal. So going back to that whole blue lens, green lens, you see white light just kind of bouncing into you're like, hey, wait a minute, that may not be friendly. Now the two platoons, gold platoon, green platoon, they're not mutually supportive. They could be if they did a lot of really good coordination.
Coordination.
There will be a radio frequency, I think it's FRS2, so they can talk to each other. So the gold platoon leader and green platoon leader can say, hey, pro word, we're Cadillac on this objective. We're Cadillac Goat. Roger, we're Cadillac Bear. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll see it in the op order. Pro words on the radio, because it keeps radio transmissions short for a variety of reasons.
It keeps the enemy on its toes.
Yeah.
If you say on the open channel, hey, we cleared Goat, and I'm out 4, and I'm like, all right, they just took Goat.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. What if there is a hostage at, let's just say, I'm just going to pick one, at Coin, okay? You're not going to say, hey, we grabbed a hostage. Hey, we're hotel. We're hotel on Coin. You can come up with anything to where the enemy does not know what you're talking about, because can it happen? Can the out 4 get a hold of your comms? Yes. Just like how you can get a hold of theirs. It's a revolving door, guys.
And so one of the comments, we can grab the comms. No, what coach is saying is, if you're standing next to a player that has got his radio on and you hear it come over stray ions and going, hey man, they just called it. And those pro words are in the op order. So don't go creating your own SOI, your own pro word index. It's in the op order. You guys will get them the day you get briefed. We put it out there every single op order. We put a challenging password, number combination. All the pro words go out. The op 4 don't have those. They have no idea what you're talking about. So that stuff goes out in the op order. But rarely do we see beyond the word professional, which means 100% accountability. We really don't see him use anything else beyond the challenge of password.
Although I think at the last one at was it Bone Strike?
Crossbones. Yeah.
Crossbones. A few guys had some out 4 pop up behind them, and out 4 threw a number out at them. Yeah. And the guy was like, nope. And he just lit him up. And I went up to him. I was like, hey, outstanding job. That wasn't your number combo.
Yeah.
I was like, that was good paying attention.
0 or 1 is a dead giveaway. Don't answer.
Well, it's like a lot of people always say, like, oh, I'm always in the rear of the formation. I never see anything. It's like, and then the next that guy gets lit up from the rear, and it's like, you sure about that? You should have had your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
It's being the rear guy in any formation, rear vehicle, rear this, rear that. You are a very key person, because you're literally watching your guys' asses.
Yeah.
And everybody's moving in darkness.
I think that growing up as a Gumby Joe, the two positions I couldn't stand to be in was the point guy, and the rear guy, because the point guy, man, if we got lost, it was all your fault. If you ran into contact without you seeing it first, it was all your fault. If you were the tail guy, you were always worried about losing everybody else in front of you, because you were so worried about what was behind you, or you were so worried about people in front of you, you weren't looking behind you. And it just, those were the two most stressful positions, because everything hinged on those two guys. I know someone's going to be doing the math, going 3 to 6 bad guys per objective, 9 objectives. Coach, that's 54 op 4. Like, and the answer is could be.
Could be.
Light armor running around, could be. So if you're the point man or the tail gunner for your formation, yeah, man, heads on a swivel, boys. The city illumination. What's the illumination factor? It's 29% illum for the moon. What's the town going to look like?
The town's going to have a little bit of illum. I'm not going to flood it. I'll be honest with you. I got to be able to give you guys room to maneuver. Okay, of course, safely. Of course, give you those options, like how I keep doing: foot stomp, foot stop. Don't go down that road that has light. Take the alleyway. Also, I'll be honest. If we got a guy that's up on point and he has NVGs, I'm gonna allow him to make sure that he can make that route and choose his route. Now, if the guy has nods on and he takes the route with the with the street that's illuminated. Man, that's for one thing, that's just wrong. You just white lighted yourself, and now your nods you can't see. So I kind of give the players the ability to make their own route.
So if you said, okay, we got 29% lunar illumination, give a percentage, like how much city light is going to be, like
Uh,
5%, 10%, 20%.
I'll be very honest. It's probably going to be anywhere from maybe 15 to 10%.
Yeah.
There's going to be. Now I'll be very honest with you. I mean, in a perfect world, if if Osama bin Laden's compound was completely white lighted, yeah, that just don't happen like that. But
Yeah.
not that I'm saying that that's what's going to happen. But there's definitely going to be some lightage, but it's going to be in places to where it makes shadows, to
Right.
where you're able to see and identify. But it's not going to be daylight.
No.
Just say that.
No. For the guys that did Starburst, we had 70% illume. It was almost daytime.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That
All
was
right,
an
man.
active city too. So
Yeah. All right. So tips. We've given a lot of tips out here. Op Ragnarok. We'll close. We'll bring this up one more time so people can take a look at it.
I mean, just some good closing thoughts, guys. Stuff that you might want to start going over. And obviously, what kind of operation is this? This is a raid into a search and rescue, basically. So
Yep.
you know that you guys are moving to contact. Okay, you're not out looking for the enemy. You know where the enemy's general area is, so you're moving to contact. Okay. The next thing you want to go over is breaching. Breaching operations. Obviously, it's not going to be. It's going to be pyro. So you're going to be actually blowing doors. Okay. Next thing, also key thing is going to be search and rescue. How do you deal with hostages? If your hostage says, "Hey, can I grab one of those guns? I want to fight with you." No, bud, you're just going to stay in the rear, or you're going to stay behind me. Start going over stuff like that, guys. Those are definitely key things. Another key thing I want to go into, just foot stop, is what do you do when you see armor? Because obviously a lot of you guys don't have nothing that is going to be able to take out a light armored vehicle.
Yeah.
I know in main game we allow grenades, but in tier 1, it's a little more realistic.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill that thing with a grenade. It's
Yeah.
either an anti-armor, or you have to call for fire on it, or call for artillery support if it's in a fixed location, if it's moving. Maybe this is a Bigfoot stomp. If you laze the target, that could definitely help out. You might want to, if you don't know what a laze is, it's just lazy word for saying laser.
Yeah.
Those definitely work as well.
So, lots of good tips there. Again, looking at taking player feedback. I was driving this episode of TCA Live, talking about the Tier 1 Operation Ragnarok for Serious Viking 6. It's our 6th one. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Leaning
Just
forward.
another key thing also. Every single tier 1 is always different.
Yeah.
We never do the same tier 1s twice.
And that's a challenge for the designers, but that's all this guy. So he'll figure it all out. But yeah, I would say, folks, for the guys that have done these before, you know what you're getting at. I know we've got a couple of players that Sal, coach, and his guys get it better every single time. There's never been a dull tier 1. Folks that are non-team players, they learn very quickly that it is about teamwork. It is about becoming a member of a squad or a platoon, which is good because we want them to take that forward into the main game. All right, we are.
Key example, real quick. I know we might be running out of time. You just said it right there, Sal. Can I take stuff from a tier 1 into the main game? Absolutely, you can.
And you
Absolutely, you can. There's a lot of key things in this that are teaching you. You might go into this with all your buddies and pals into the main game. They all get nicks, and they all have to go back to the respawn or to get regen or the CCP or whatever. And now you're stuck out there with a whole nother squad you don't know. You got to learn to adapt, overcome, and work with another squad.
Yeah.
So tier 1s, they throw you in the mix. You might have 1 or 2 battle buddies with you, but you're gonna adapt 7 more.
Yeah.
So
there's
a lot of things you can take with you into the main game, and I see it all the time. I see it all the time from reoccurring people that just love to do the tier 1s, and I hear them saying stuff in the main game, and it's like, bam, they got it. They're ready.
And we asked that question to AAR. What do you want to pick and take forward to tomorrow? and it's always hey this, hey that. We got to fix combo. And it's more than just radios. And you're like, yep, okay, great. Let's see what happens tomorrow, because that 60 or so players that did the tier 1 are the guys that are probably they understand the pacing. They're not the rabbits the next morning because they're broke off and sore, but they're like, hey guys, use the terrain. Hey, I know this street. Don't cross here. So yeah, there's a lot of military terminology that players will eventually learn because as they get more and more experienced and they start picking up the lingo. It's like, hey, dude, don't worry about the military terminology. Tell me, well, it's about crossing an open area. Great. Let's just keep it in plain English.
You don't need to tell me it's an LOA or a leaner danger area. It just, hey man, it's a street and it's a long run.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
The lesson's still there. It's great. And I always tell folks a lot of these are pulled or ripped from the headlines if they're not from personal experience. So each one is different. So I know the staff is excited to see Operation Ragnarok.
Yes.
So, it's going to be great. I think when people see this, it'll be on the 1st of December. We'll be exactly 6 days away from the tier 1. So, hey, folks, we'll see you guys at Serious Viking. All right, Coach. We're out of here, brother. Thanks for coming on and doing this one.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Later.
Going out of my brain, I'm chasing after that fame. Gonna bring you down till I wear the crown. No stopping till you know my name. Ain't backing down for no fight, so you better run for your life. Gonna hunt you down like an animal now. Better run like ooh, I'm ready to go. Yeah, you already know. I'm feeling my flow. Yeah, it's about to blow. Turning it up like a savage. Yeah, I'm ready to